Jesus, what a bunch of freaking whiners these YouTube channels and YouTube hosts are. Over and over again, whining and bitching and moaning, and just look at this stuff when I'm going through it. Disney effed up again. Snow White looks hilariously bad. Disney blah blah blah. Indiana Jones, how bad it is. Woke Disney. Disaster. Indiana Jones. Blah 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 blah. Disney is dead. Bitching and moaning and complaining. Video after video after video. It just gets tiring to the fact that all you YouTube channels are exactly the same. All you movie commentary channels just do bad and doom and gloom just to get people to watch your crappy channels. It's so disgusting sometimes. Even the dog is crying. Even the dog is crying about your crappy YouTube channels. Get over yourselves. If you don't like it, go watch something else. Yes, I'm going to bitch and moan about YouTube channels that make it their very existence to bitch and moan. How many times can I watch videos about the hatred of Kathleen Kennedy? You've been saying she'll get fired for years and she's still hanging strong. Some say they have unnamed insiders telling them things, which I can't help thinking you're full of shit. Yes, I mean this guy. He's been saying Kathleen Kennedy's going to be fired for years. According, he has inside information, which he doesn't. I was lying in bed one summer day, just scrolling through all this shit, and it is shit. Many of these are very popular channels, so a lot of you aren't going to agree with me, and a lot of you are not going to like me after this video. Obviously, this video is solely my opinion. And this video built up for months for me to make it. This started in the summer, and we're talking February 3rd to finally make this video. I, for one, don't need to see negativity towards Disney every single day. I'm not a big fan of Kathleen Kennedy or Disney, but I sure as fuck don't do videos on it, and these people do videos on it every single day. And if I didn't see them every single day, I wouldn't even be making this video. These channels are popular and get millions of views. This just tells me people love to hate and are so obsessed with hating Disney or Barbie and Marvel and Star Wars that they're obsessed beyond the realm of normal. My question I can't seem to figure out in my little brain is why spend so much time and effort hating something? Well, these YouTube channels do it for hits and clicks and money, of course. If people are eating it up on a daily basis, then let the hatred and man-bitching flow on a daily basis, I suppose. These YouTubers have turned the term woke and misogynistic into meaningless words. To them, everything is woke and misogynistic. Those words are at the top of their very vocabulary, probably not even understanding what the word woke was supposed to originally represent. Notice all these idiots are white people and white men people? Woke was originally a word for the African Americans, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Now here comes a bunch of white people stealing that as well. That's just a small nitpick, but also extremely ironic. I swear the word woke is the most overused word in the 21st century. The word should die a quick death because people use it for every single thing they don't agree with. And the word misogynistic is also a word that needs to go away for the very exact reason. Both words have become meaningless because both words are used no matter what, in any situation. If the early 2000s was the era of the prank videos, this is the era of the whiny man babies who really need to grow a pair of balls. Man babies or man children are the best words to explain these YouTubers. They remind me of little children who are not happy with their toys and throw them across the room. What kind of person makes it their life's ambition hating everything and talking about things they hate? I am talking video after video after video. There has to be some study or paper published on this psychological phenomena, and there's so many of them. I'm not talking about a rant once in a while for a subject or film, but every video is a rant on films that aren't liked, which is every film they cover. And they do video after video on the same film. And only one concluding question pops into my mind. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm going to bitch and complain about people on YouTube that bitch and complain. I only bitch and complain occasionally. These people bitch and complain every single video. The idea of this video came to me this past summer. I was looking through YouTube for something to watch, as I normally do. YouTube suggests videos in the movie and film realm because that's mostly what I watch. YouTube kept recommending all this negative content, or what I deemed negative. These are even from YouTubers I used to subscribe to and others I never heard of. I can understand people not liking every film or television show that comes out. I'm a big fan of sites like Good Bad or Bad Bad and Fanflix where they review low quality or B movies. They are never hateful hateful in their reviews. I see them as poking fun while having fun. But I'm going to talk about channels that are just hateful, they're just spiteful, that just ooze hate. And it's okay, I do rants once in a great while. I do rants on different things that I feel strongly about. But not every single fucking video, and not the same fucking movie for 12 videos. Not the same people, not the same situations, woke and misogynistic, words that are in every single video, and blah, 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 blah. And the more I think about it, the more I really hate these YouTube channels. I know a lot of you love them. I hate them. You can call me an asshole down in the description. So the people I'm going to cover here are just down hateful to the point that perhaps if they haven't spoken to a counselor, they should look into it. Every single video they upload to YouTube is something negative about some piece of entertainment. It's as if they love to hate, and their viewers who cling to their every word and follow them, I'm pretty sure they love to hate. Now, I know the YouTuber, they do it probably because they get more hits. Because being negative toward everything generates views and traffic to their channel. And I just made a video about how the nightly news, the mainstream media, likes to give out doom and gloom, and people love to watch doom and gloom. Why? Because it makes those news stations and those corporations money. Advertisers cling to viewership, and viewers want to see doom and gloom. So the same thing with YouTubers. If hatred makes YouTubers come and view your video, then they're going to make more videos on hatred. That's the conclusion I come from it. That's the only conclusion I can come from it. Or they're just unstable human beings. I've done my share of opinions on this channel, more towards marketers and what I call the cringe of YouTube, kind of what I'm doing now. I'm talking about the Logan Pauls and the Ethan Kleins of the world, the absolute bottom of the barrel content of YouTube. And the people I cover in this video aren't even remotely that bad. I just find them annoying. Everything to them is woke and misogynistic, as I continuously say. Doesn't that get in your nerves when I keep saying it? That's basically what they do on their YouTube channel. Those are 2 words at the top of their vocabulary. They need to all get rid of those 2 words. They need to use something else, because they've been done to death. Woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Beginning in the 2010s, it came to encompass a broader awareness of social inequalities, such as racial justice, sexism, and LGBT rights. Woke has also been used as shorthand for some ideas of the American left involving identity policies and social justice, such as white privilege and reparations for slavery in the United States. And words do change their meaning over time. Gay used to mean happy in my day. A heterosexual could call anyone gay without being a homophobe. Somehow that word came from being happy to being a homosexual. I don't know why or how, it just happened. Somehow the word woke changed from the oppression of the black community to mean everything deemed politically correct. It doesn't even have meaning anymore. It's a meaningless word now. And you white folk, you white YouTubers have buried it into the ground. It seems to be trendy to hate on things. I suppose it's human nature. I guess it's always been that way. All you need to do is look at the evening news to see that 99% of what you're watching is someone being shot, some war, robbery, or so on. There's never, or are you ever going to see 30 minutes of people doing good deeds on the nightly news, on the national scale? That's not newsworthy. That's not attracting eyeballs. We're humans. Show me some tragedy, goddammit. That's how these YouTubers and their channels are. It's my personal belief that most do this consciously because they see that negativity attracts viewers and gets hits. It makes that delicious YouTube money. Oh, it's so tasty. And we all need and want that YouTube delicious money, don't we? And sometimes we'll do anything to get it and be noticed. I remember these guys. If you're young folk, you may not know Siskel and Ebert. They are 2 of the most well-known movie critics of the late 70s, 80s, and early 90s. It's always been reported both gentlemen didn't get along very well with each other, and watching their shows, you can easily believe that. It's just kind of the tension you see on the little screen. I didn't always agree with their film reviews. They weren't always negative, and when they were pretty funny. They could be a bit angry, but I took it more humorous than anything. You respected these guys. Not only were they the staple of television and newspaper reviewers on entertainment and movies at the time, but they were also entertaining themselves without being downright nasty, pompous, arrogant, self-righteous, or condescending. And those are all terms, the downright nasty, pompous, arrogant, self-righteous, and condescending. I put those labels, and I can only explain those labels on these man-children because most of them are in their 30s, and most are men. They're man-children. If YouTube was around when a movie like Big Trouble in Little China came out, they would tear that apart. I don't see a difference between Big Trouble in Little China and, let's say, Barbie. Both are bizarre movies with bizarre humor, and both movies I liked. And for some strange reason, society likes to build up the underdog, and once they're at the top, break them back down to where they came from. And the most recent example I can give you is Taylor Taylor Swift. For some reason, people have a hard-on about Taylor Swift and the fact she keeps popping up on our screen during football games. First off, she has absolutely nothing to do with that. She's not pointing the camera at herself. That decision comes from people broadcasting the game. And if that gets your panties in a lather, then you have bigger issues. And this total obsession with misogyny these men have, and woke, grow a fucking pair of balls. Are you that subconsciously afraid of your gender and manliness being challenged? It offends you? Do you need your pad changed? Is this your time of the month? For these YouTubers I'm about to cover, it surely seems so. So I'm going to run through some channels that are the guiltiest of this. I know a lot of these channels listed are going to be unpopular choices as they garner extreme loyalty and following, as I already mentioned. This is what I see in my experiences watching these channels, and you're more than all right to disagree with me, of course. And I just didn't pick these channels out of random. These channels have been around forever, and I've watched them, and I stopped watching them for reasons. And now that they're popping up in my feed as suggestions for me to watch, and I really don't want to watch them because they're all negative, I decided to make this video. And it's been over 6 months in the making, and finally I sat down and I'm gonna spew out what I think. You may vent and put your hate comments down in the description. If you get way wound up about it, I have some phone numbers of good therapists in your area. There will be actual people that get all wound up about this.
People have been predicting the death of cinema almost as long as the medium has existed. Like, literally, here's an article from 1908 saying cinema is a fad that won't last. In 1951, legendary producer David O. Selznick predicted Hollywood was crumbling. In 1967, Roger Boussinot proclaimed cinema was dead. In the mid-90s, Susan Sontag's essay, The Decay of Cinema, bemoaned the dire state the movies were in. And in 2005, Jean-Luc Godard declared, cinema is over.
And coming in at number 10 is Patrick H. Willems. Patrick is number 10 because his channel isn't overly terrible. He comes off very standoffish and pretentious, don't get me wrong. His content is often good, so it's difficult for me to not 100% recommend this channel. And his parents, who often pop up in his videos, are hilarious. I love his parents. This isn't a terrible channel. It's the only one on this list I would recommend to anyone. Like most of these channels, I used to subscribe to Patrick. That's why I'm highlighting these, because I'm actually familiar with them. Listening to Patrick over time is becoming tiring, or it became tiring, I should say. It was no longer fun to watch his content. It became a chore. I can't delve into all his essay videos because that would take me forever. One of his videos I haven't watched up to this point is titled Who Killed Cinema? Now this seems to be a hot topic these days, so I rummaged through this one. I'll give you my answer to what happened to cinema, or what is happening. Time and technology, it's that simple. The same thing that happened to silent movies, the same thing that happened to the rise of home entertainment. The same thing is happening now with people not going to the theater. There were plenty of shitty movies in the 80s and 90s, just as there are shitty movies now. My sister used to work for City Newspaper. I used to get free tickets all the time, and I've seen some shitty movies in the theater. Technology and time are the simple answers.
At home, people half-watch movies while looking at their phones, and those movies are recommended to them by an algorithm and made because they resemble watered-down versions of better movies we liked when we were younger.
How can you possibly know what everyone is doing in their home and their decisions to watch what they watch? Where is this data? Where are these statistics? Those are all in Patrick's head because it's his perception and not reality. My choices of film are brought on by my interest in the movie trailer and recommendations of friends. There's no algorithm making my decisions or suggestions for me. And unless a movie is extraordinarily and extremely boring, I don't even think about my phone.
Every single year, plenty of great movies get made, but fewer and fewer people each year are actually watching them. I'm not complaining that mainstream audiences aren't, like, rushing to see the new Apichat Pongwirasethical movie or other dense, difficult art house fare. I'm talking about what used to be totally normal movies made for wide audiences. In 1979, the biggest—
This is so stupid. This is where he loses me. Dude, it's not 1980. Dude, it's not 1990. We're in 2024. We have plenty more outlets than film and cinema to direct our attentions to. Even you are on YouTube. You should know that other people have other outlets for entertainment. It's not about movies anymore. And people say, well, kids don't have the attention span. All they want to watch are 30-second clips. So what? So what they want to watch? They're not into what you're into. They're not into cinema. They didn't grow up in the 80s, in the 90s, when our outlet for entertainment was going to the movies and staying home and watching TV, 4 channels. All right, once cable came around, it was more channels. I personally watch YouTube more than I watch movies or any type of television shows anymore. I don't even watch television anymore. Like you already indicated, there's streaming services. I watch things probably that in the way that I shouldn't. But that's a whole other video. Point is mute. Your point is ridiculous. You're comparing 40 years ago to now, and it's not even similar. It's like comparing the 1940s to the 1980s of entertainment before television, you know, right when talkies were coming out around about. It's ridiculous to compare the two, and that's why you're ridiculous.
Instead of just one franchise that released a new installment every 2 or 3 years, they had a collection of franchises that all connected into one mega franchise that released 3 movies every year. And since it was heavily serialized, essentially like a TV show that played in movie theaters, audiences felt the pressure to go see every one.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. That's not even remotely true. He's just assuming again based on his own bias. There's plenty of people that don't give a shit about the continuity of the Marvel Universe. They just want to go and watch a movie. The majority of moviegoers do not watch these type of YouTube channels. They go and watch a movie and then they go about their everyday life. So to make such a presumption, and just not him, it's all these channels, they just presume that the average viewer is them. The average viewer thinks like them. The average viewer is into movies like them. And if they're not into movies, oh my god, cinema is dying.
Don't trust them. They are dying. Let them die.
People are not going anymore because they have so much other shit to do and so much other shit to watch. Who gives a fuck if cinema is dying? Entertainment is altering. It's transforming with time. It always has. It always will. And all these YouTube channels are ridiculous. And Patrick is very melodramatic. It's my opinion that every generation thinks they've had it the worst. I mean, overall, kids today think they're living in the worst of times, and that's hardly true. Old people think they lived in better times than now. Right, Patrick? That's also false. It's all perception. I mean, I would argue religious persecution of the 16th and 17th centuries, or the Spanish flu, or no plumbing are far worse times than we have now. This thumbnail is very pretentious, and the reason he's on this list. Who is to say how to talk about film? Does Patrick even know what he's talking about half the time? He makes a lot of assumptions based on his ideals, his bias, but those are his personal ideals and his personal bias. And I hate to tell Patrick, there are far more important things in life than going to the fucking movies. Hollywood has a long history of being pretentious and thinking they're doing and saying important things. At the end of the day, it's just a fucking movie. If movies and cinema go away tomorrow, it won't be the end of the fucking world. People will adapt and move forward just like they do. And the realm of entertainment will evolve right along with them. Patrick is a dinosaur, and the guy is younger than I am. So Patrick is a small, mild taste to why I made this video. I think it's ridiculous to form an opinion about cinema dying when there are more choices than ever. We are in the renaissance of choice for entertainment. It's everywhere, created by everyone. If he means a physical location, it's the fact people are more comfortable in their home. They can pause a film and pee. No annoying people talking or being assholes. This is not a bad thing. We don't have to go to a physical location to watch a film. We can stay home and do it. Just the fact that Patrick put this much thought into this is mind-boggling. People are so passionate about unimportant and dumb things. Now I even feel like I'm being passionate about a stupid thing, which I pretty much am.
The trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine dropped, and they are set to join the MCU this summer. If that sounds like something that would have been way more exciting 5 years ago, it's because it is. Like a lost Baldwin trying to rejoin his Marvel brothers, Reynolds probably didn't think he'd be showing up to salvage what's left of an Avengers team that looks less like Cap and Tony and more like this.
This channel has way more things wrong with it than just technical difficulties. This channel gets 9th place because this is a copycat channel, or what I deem as a copycat channel. Although the channel was created in 2006, it's only been posting movie reviews for about 2 years. The channel doesn't offer anything new and has the same tired formula as all these YouTube channels have that are being covered in this section of the video. Just another channel that cries woke and political correctness without really knowing what any of that means means in the context of the entire history of Hollywood. The Movie Cynic is in 9th place to represent all the YouTube channels out there just like it, and there are plenty, and they all do the exact same thing. The Movie Cynic is here to represent. This channel is on the list representing all the other countless weak movie review channels on YouTube. Welcome aboard, The Movie Cynic. I wish we could say we're happy to have you. We'll just put you on the top of the pile with the rest of the crappy review channels. You'll be comfortable there. This channel is just one of the countless hate review channels that focus on negativity. The reviews aren't very good, the videos aren't very good, but I encourage you to go check them out and judge for yourselves.
Man, don't you just hate them all? Well, if you happen to be a creative working in Hollywood today, then the answer is probably yes. Either because you genuinely believe it, or because you think it's what you're expected to say these days just to get hired.
I can easily disprove this statement with a few lesser-known movies I've watched in the past couple of weeks. Muzzle, which I really enjoyed with Aaron Eckhart. Hidden Strike with Jackie Chan and John Cena. Just a stupid, fun, testosterone-layered film I'm sure the critical drinker would tear apart. And The Retirement Plan with Nicolas Cage. I didn't see any blatant hatred of men in any of these movies beyond the bad guys, who you're supposed to hate anyways. So right there alone, the critical drinker is full of shit. All hail the king of outrage culture. All hail the critical drinker.
Critical drinker, yeah, I hate this dude. I hate his criticisms. I think they usually suck.
The traditional heroic male lead that was pretty much the bedrock foundation of cinema for almost 100 years is apparently no longer a viable commodity in entertainment today. They're too dated, too toxic, too dangerous to put into the limelight, and so they've been replaced with more acceptable alternatives.
I'm pretty willing to bet that hating men is not a prerequisite for getting a job in Hollywood. I get what you're going for here, but like, don't you see how this is just the inverse of what Anita Sarkeesian was doing a few years back, except for it's actually popular? Because when a bunch of women were being like, man, media doesn't like us. Look at how women are depicted in these video games. That's so horrible. You guys were like, bunch of whiners. But now you make the exact same videos. Hollywood hates men. And people are like, yep, best.
I used to like the critical dinker. I'm going to call him the critical dinker. I used to like the critical dinker, and I used to subscribe to his channel. I thought it was good shtick. I thought his character was good shtick. And then after watching for a bit, this is when I first really got serious into watching YouTube, was like, I don't know, about 2015, 2016. I really enjoyed his stuff, and I really enjoyed his character, but then it's turned into seem like it really wasn't a character. It was really him, and all he talked about was woke and misogyny and just all this toxic crap and negativity, which is fine, a video here and there. That's fine if you don't like a movie. Certainly tear it apart, but this is like every single freaking video, or almost every single freaking video, and I just got sick of him. He's terrible. He's just cringe, and everything, or mostly everything he spews is like venom. It's you get tired of listening to that shit all the time. And I hate to tell these YouTubers, they're all down on Disney. They're all bashing Disney. When did Iron Man come out? 2008, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. They're all talking how Disney stock has gone down. Well, let's look at 2008, shall we? Here's 2008, pretty low there, don't you think? And it didn't really start rising until about, 2013, 2014, 15. There it was rising. I think, well, we have COVID. Did we have 2020, 2021, one of those? So, of course, it went down during COVID. People weren't going to the theaters. And then a year later, so it's around about when it was in 2015. And then it's starting to go up a little bit. So these people against Marvel, these people bashing Marvel, how terrible Marvel is. Oh, they're being destroyed. They're destroying themselves. They're destroying from within. Whatever. Marvel, Disney, Star Wars. Although you really wish, you really hope that they fail and they go away into dust, so it would reinforce your channels. It's just not going to happen, and it's your wishful thinking. And why don't you go and talk about something you do enjoy instead of every fucking video being of negativity? And that's you, critical dinker.
So, tell me, how many dumb, hapless, incompetent husbands, fathers, and boyfriends do you see constantly screwing up even the most simple household tasks and needing someone more diverse to bail them out? Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, this is a trend that I've noticed creeping into films and TV for quite some time now, and I think the problem comes in a number of different flavors.
So to end with a critical dinker segment, I just want to bring up some shows that I grew up with in the 70s of the 80s that disproves what he's trying to say. There's always been bumbling guys and strong women behind them. It's always been around. This is nothing new. Just let me share some with you. All right, here we go. Here's the Honeymooners, Ralph and Alice Cramden. He was always a buffoon, and then she was always the voice of reason every single episode. Same deal with George Jefferson and Wheezy. Same deal. He was just pretty much an idiot. He was a good character, but he was very, very flawed, and Wheezy was always there as the voice of reason. Once again, you're going to see a trend. All in the Family, once again, Archie, racist, bigoted, and he didn't even know he was. He was just more naive, I think, as anything, and that was how the character was written, and Edith was always there, once again, as the voice, the strong woman and the voice of reason. Although she was always called a dingbat, she was never a dingbat. That's what he used to call her. Charlie's Angels, now you can make argument to the fact that, okay, it was the 70s and they were sexualized. When I was a kid, I didn't even know what that shit was. I watched the show because I liked it, and yes, there were pretty women on there. And I don't know, I was still a young kid. I still liked pretty women, right? But they're all strong characters, and all their bad guys were mostly evil bad men that they took down week to week, right? Love me some Charlie's Angels. Love me this. Linda Carter as Wonder Woman. Once again, strong woman taking care of business. Most of the bad guys, I don't remember any bad guy being a woman. Bumbling bad guys, right? Men. Bad, evil men way back in the 70s and the 80s. And then finally, we'll end with Bewitched, because both Darrens, played by two different actors, were always bumbling idiots. And shit, I forgot her character's name now. Samantha. Samantha was always the voice of reason, always the strong character in this show, definitely. So there's some examples for you that critical dinker, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Wrong Rambo, for in 2023, Rambo looks like this. Monica Rambeau. She's not an afterthought or an action juggernaut. She's an astronaut, and her name has a beautiful spelling. As is customary, she's the smartest, bravest, and strongest in the room, unless she's sharing the room with Brie Larson. Perfection cannot be surpassed, only equaled. When she's not kicking ass as a superpowered ass-kicking astronaut, she's reaching for the Kleenex.
Kleenex? I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. I suppose he's attempting humor. Take away all the negativity and everything. This is just badly written. This guy just seems like the critical drinker light, but his scripts are terrible. I mean, go back and rewatch that. What the fuck is he talking about? It's kind of like Coors and Coors Light when it comes to him and the critical drinker. Regular Coors is a tad bit better than Coors Light, but both beers suck. I challenge you to get through an entire video of the woke critic without wanting to gouge your eyes and ears out. Yes, these videos are that annoying. Take the woke and the toxic hate cringe out of these videos. The videos are still fucking annoying. They just are terribly badly written. This channel is just not on this list due to the name. The name The Woke Critic is already enough to cringe by. This channel's shtick is to have a flattering title for each video, and then inside this glowing package of shit, use political correctness as his foil. For instance, his Disney's Marvel review was titled "The Marvels is a Marvel's Masterpiece." There he went in and emphasized how women were empowered over the men, and blah, 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 blah. All these reviews come out to be the same. Now, as I mentioned, I grew up in the 80s where we had Sarah Connor, Ellen Lewis Ripley, Thelma and Louise, Princess Leia. My point is, strong women characters overshadowing men is nothing new, just as much as a damsel in distress is nothing new. This channel and all these channels must think Hollywood started in the 2000s. They just seem overrun and flabbergasted that strong female characters can overshadow men characters. This has been going on since the dawn of cinema, but of course when no one gave it a second thought in the 20th century. Now in this new improved 21st century, we have words like woke and misogyny, and we have YouTube channels run by men with no quality anatomy below the belt.
If you're a woke film critic who has a terrible opinion on a movie, you shouldn't be surprised when some people call you out. You shouldn't be surprised if that post goes viral, that you get mocked by thousands of people on the internet. Because quite frankly, if you say something stupid, that's just something that happens. Now you do have...
Now, is Barbie a smash the patriarchy feminist film? Yes, it is. It's worth addressing. It's in the makeup of the film. To its core, to the bone marrow of the film, reviewing Barbie and not even addressing that fact is kind of like reviewing Oppenheimer and not even mentioning the bomb. Now,
it's just funny. I just thought it was a stupid movie that I enjoyed and forgot about the next day. I'm not sure where the correlation between the bomb and Oppenheimer is with the politics of a Barbie movie, but maybe I'm nitpicking. At no time was I thinking about feminism or patriarchy or toxic whatever or such. Is that what all these YouTubers do while watching a piece of fantasy entertainment? Pick out all the political commentary, or better yet, pick out things they turn into political commentary? It's a fucking Barbie movie. Deal. To Jeremy's credit, he doesn't blatantly spew politics like the likes of The Critical Drinker. This guy and this channel are just blatantly annoying. There are other channels far more guilty of spewing out social equality, stupidity. I just happen to be more familiar with this channel, so the reason I added it to my list. And it is my list. This is all just my opinion, of course. Take away all the political agenda crap, I just find this guy annoying. He's got close to 2 million subscribers, so what the hell do I know? Jeremy and Channel Awesome are two channels I can't watch just for the annoyance factor of the hosts. And speaking of...
This movie sucked! It sucked! This movie fucking sucked! Everybody applauded at the end because they love Jungle Book and Cinderella.
So Channel Awesome is hardly awesome. It's not even cool or good. Channel Mediocre is probably a better name for this YouTube channel. I never liked this channel, and this is another one of those biases, I suppose. Right off the bat, the host just annoys me, Mr. Doug Walker. Just like the last channel, it took me about 2 movie reviews to make the determination this channel or the channel's host was not for me. Your average 6-year-old, perhaps, just not for me. And Doug Walker, also known as the Nostalgia Critic online, is the curator of this disaster of a YouTube channel, and his reputation hasn't exactly been stellar over the past few years. This is what happens when you burn your bridges and be a jerk, and an asshole, and a dickhead, and a douche.
Hashtag Change the Channel was a movement that started in late 2014 as creators started leaving the platform due to management issues, sexual harassment allegations, and general mistreatment of Channel Awesome creators, including one case where one creator was fired without notice for being late to a Skype call, while others got away with sexual harassment for years without so much as a warning. It gets really rough and goes too deep to explain just here, so I would like to recommend one of the other bajillion videos out there discussing it.
Hey look everybody! Pooh!
A moment of silence for the Happy Madison audience.
2023 is the year where comic book movies imploded, and now Hollywood are asking themselves why? How did it all go so wrong so fast? We all know the answer. Marvel went all in on wokeness, diversity, equity, and inclusion. But Hollywood can't admit that. So let's see how the industry trades try to explain this away.
Just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one had a chance to interrupt. It was really quite hypnotic.
I just noticed this channel only has 251,000 subscribers, which is a lot of subscribers, don't get me wrong. It's way more than my channel has, but that's not a lot in the context of the rest of these channels that I'm covering. I just found that interesting as I just discovered that. So this is Midnight's Edge, and I watched this for a while, or more like I should say listened to, because it was put on when I was driving home from work at the time. I just think they're full of shit. It was interesting for the first week or two, and then I turned them off. They always talk about their inside sources, and I don't believe they have inside sources. Any site that says they have like inside sources or close sources or something like that, I believe is full of shit. It's kind of like the Inquirer, and this is what this site is. It's like the Inquirer YouTube channel. And the only inside source I know is he reads from Variety all the time on his YouTube channel, his videos. They got this guy, Cameron Pasha. He shows up in a couple videos that I was watching just to do this video, and he seems to know what's going on, but I don't think he really does. He's kind of done stuff. He's written, I suppose, or this is a producer credits. He's written for some shows. Some I've never even freaking heard of. And then, of course, we've got Andre Einherjar or whatever. I suppose that's him right there. He's always spewing out, I don't know, he's kind of obnoxious, and he's spewing out information that never comes true. And I always use the example, and I'll use the example for this video channel, this YouTube channel, and the next one is to the fact of Kathleen Kennedy. I'll use for example. She's in charge of Lucasfilm, and they're always talking about her downfall and her being fired and her being replaced, and they've been talking about it for years, and it never happens. Supposedly these inside sources have told them this information, but it never happens. So if they have inside sources, they're full of shit, and they're never right.
So if this is the avenue to remove Miss Kennedy, which I believe it is, then the next thing is now you've got to build on this. You've got to start having leaks and articles about financial problems inside of Disney, right? You got to have those come so that it more and more of the embarrassing laundry has to be put out, so that that ultimately no one is going to blame Chapek for doing what he needs to do, and that requires humiliating himself in the process. But if this town, you humiliate yourself for a little bit and they forget about it because you're still the CEO of one of the biggest companies on the planet, right?
We'll do a few minutes of stupid fucking midnight session in the morning, because they talk about, you heard that that Bob Chapek didn't get the chairman of the board position.
Oh, that's right. It's the woman. Oh no, it's the woman
so
that's the role.
Susan Arnold takes over here.
Was that something they predicted that he would?
Well, they've been calling him. So Cameron Pasha, again, he's like their go-to guru. And he'll say things like, "Oh, Bob Chapek is Machiavellian. Bob Chapek, he's putting everyone in their place. He's fighting a war. He's winning." All this nonsense. Like we talked about last night watching the Midnight's Edge video that just was completely, like, it was one of the worst things I'd ever seen. For how little integrity it had. And then this is them when they're just off filter. This is them when it's not scripted. And I kind of appreciate it like this, because you just get some of these really terrible takes.
Kamran, what's your take on this?
I think the news that Susan Arnold has been appointed or will be appointed the new chairman of Disney starting January 1st is one of the most important events in Disney history and one of the most important events in recent Hollywood history. And I'm going to liken it to something, because I'm a Star Wars fan, I'm going to liken it to something that I think will surprise people in the chat and people that are watching this video. This is the revelation of Darth Sidious.
What?
Chapek was never the boss this whole time.
What?
Even as he took power the last year, he was the apprentice.
Guess what? We've got
was
another
Darth Maul.
evil woman behind the scenes.
And he was out there in public doing what the apprentice does. And now the revelation of who's been behind the scenes this whole time and who put him in power has come about. Because let's look at who Ms. Arnold is.
Oh my! I'm sorry. I have to stop myself for a second. The fuck. The ever-loving.
So I would encourage you to check out the Midnight's Edge. Check out some of their videos. They're a caricature upon themselves. They're so serious about this stuff, and in the great context of things on this planet, in this world, what's going on with Disney and movies itself are not overly important. But they take it very important, and it's kind of funny. Their takes on things, how many times they're wrong, and just their tone is all. It's kind of funny. It's kind of satirical, without them meaning to give you satire. So check it out. It's a terrible channel. All their takes are stupid, and who knows where their news comes from. I think they're heads.
However, Kennedy is refusing to make a statement about Gina Carano, and Bob Chapek is said to be falling into a shaky business relationship with Kennedy right now, and that it is actually impacting on exactly how long she will stay over at Lucasfilm. Chapek is already said to be finding ways to let go of Kennedy before her contract is up and to fire her as soon as possible, and that the very end of 2014 is when Kathleen Kennedy started really boosting up the press and the PR moves for The Force Awakens and stuff like that. Now, the thing about all of this is what Bob Iger had to say about firing Kathleen Kennedy, replacing her with somebody else, and responding to this age-old question. Since it is already in the works, guys, we know that Bob Iger and the board are planning on getting rid of her by this August. And it's really interesting because we know that there's a lot of things happening between the Lucasfilm president replacement of Kathleen Kennedy in certain scenarios that Disney is currently mapping out right now. We have Dana Brunetti standing by to take over, and there's one thing in particular, one very interesting development involving Jon Favreau as the Lucasfilm president and exactly what Disney is now anticipating. We're going to be going over every single detail related to that. Given that external studios that are not associated with Disney at all are beginning to turn the tide against Kathleen Kennedy from ever having a future role as a producer. Now, with Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy costing Disney hundreds of millions in recent years, including this year for Indiana Jones 5, one major development has to do with the current status of Kennedy and her blacklisting from Hollywood.
Had enough. Mike, first time that I saw your video, said, hey, who is this Mike Zero? You had so many crazy theories, but no way they could all be real though, cause you said that Ezra Bridger was gonna play a big role in the picture. But as you added more names to the mixture, it seemed like you were drinking too much liquor. You had Thrawn and a thong, mowing lawns for your mom, singing songs, playing Pong, but was wrong cause it's all crap.
Mike Zero and Midnight's Edge are pretty much a tie on my cringe scale. Both channels pretend to have an inside scoop to what they're talking about while putting bits of what they read in the real media together to make up their own narrative, or at least that's what I think they do. What I'm trying to say is both channels are full of shit. Now, I started and stopped watching this channel in the first week. I see he's still spewing the same mistruths he was spewing 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he was saying how insiders were saying Kathleen Kennedy was done at Disney. He's made dozens and dozens of clickbait videos about Kathleen Kennedy and her downfall. None of it is true, but it makes great YouTube headlines. I can't stand clickbait. Give me a thought-provoking news story that is true, not speculation, not from insiders you don't really have. This channel is a waste of time. This channel is the true definition of what this video I'm putting together is about. A channel knowing its audience and then lying to its audience for the almighty views and that precious YouTube dollars, that money, baby. Give me that YouTube money no matter what. Ethics and morality be damned.
It's the end of Mike Zero, the reign of Mark Uno. So let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comments section. And if you did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a like on this video and hit the subscribe button for future made-up and completely fake Star Wars news. This is Mark Uno. I thank you so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
So, we have a very interesting MCU story for you today. This article is from ScreenRant.com. The MCU breaks a 16-year franchise record with its first ever Razzie nomination. After several years without a single nod, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has finally received its first Razzie Awards nominations for a 2023 project. Now, I'm sure most of you know what the Razzies are, but for those of you who don't know, the Razzies is short for the Golden Raspberry Awards, which are a satirical award show, and they award basically the worst movies every year, kind of the opposite of the Oscars. So I think it certainly speaks to the decline of the MCU, and we've talked about that, of course, extensively on this channel, and now we're beginning to see the decline being recognized with Razzie nominations.
Oh, this guy? Dave Cullen, The Dave Cullen Show. He's just a pretentious douche. That's about it. That's why he's number 2. Go watch his channel. Go watch his videos. You'll probably mostly agree with me.
Stop what you're doing right now and start living a little less douche.
Today's the first day of the rest of your life. You gonna spend it like a douche?
Be honest. How are you gonna spend your day?
Are you gonna spend it on Bookface and Twitter smoking hashtags? Really?
Are you really going to stay up all night eating Instagram crackers on the MySpace tube?
Stop what you're doing right now. Start living a little less douche.
Men, stop ordering turkey burgers. Order a burger or not. Be men.
Women, stop ordering veggie burgers. Get a burger or don't. We respect you.
Old people, don't be racist and sexist. We know you're from another time, but you're living in our time now. Don't be a douche.
Babies, stop crying on airplanes. We get that you're not having a good time, but guess what? Nobody is. So order a drink and watch a bad movie.
Everybody stop talking about how many miles per gallon your car gets. Stop it. You're being a douche.
Everybody, stop telling me you don't watch TV, okay? We all know you watch Netflix and Hulu. You're being a douche.
You're better than that, and I believe in you. But do you believe in yourself? Yes or no? Is the Pope Catholic? No, not anymore. He quit.
Can't even count on the Pope anymore.
Sure as hell can.
So who can you count on?
You can't count on the Yankees.
Can't count on Lance Armstrong.
Can't count Dracula.
Can't count on Manti Te'o.
Can't count your chickens.
Can't count your ABCs.
You can't even count on Star Wars anymore. They're making another one. Is nothing sacred?
Dad, I'm auditioning for that. Just keep quiet.
Don't be a douche, Sammy.
If you're watching this video, then someone wants you to be a little less douche. Yeah, you.
Stop texting so much. Pick up the phone and call someone. That's a little less douche.
Show them you can do it.
Pass this video along to a douche you know and love. Let's start a movement. Let's spread the word. Let's light a fire.
Not literally. Don't actually do that. Don't start a fire.
Stop what you're doing
right now
and live your life
a little less douche.
Tampon dispenser installed in high school boys' bathroom destroyed less than 20 minutes after installation. Leave a like on the video for these based individuals. The principal has had an absolute meltdown. Local woke media is having an absolute meltdown because why shouldn't you have tampons available to third graders? That's the law apparently in this state now, and I couldn't understand it less. Of course, there is hope for the future as more people continue to stand up against this woke nonsense. We get awesome stories like this, and we're gonna.
My dude, I graduated in 1989, but maybe I'm a little out of touch. But I'm pretty confident even today there's no third graders in high school. Who cares what's in the bathroom? Look, when I go to the bathroom, I just go in and do what I gotta do. I go to the urinal if I gotta pee, if I got a number 2 shooting out the chute. I go in the stall, I do my business, I wash my hands, I leave. There's probably good reasons why there's tampons in the bathroom, because my friend, you probably need one. In all seriousness, this is probably the very worst YouTube channel on YouTube. I guess it would be on YouTube if it's a YouTube channel. In my opinion, that I have seen as far as garbage news. As far as that news story was talking about, it was an all sexes bathroom. You have to go in and get the rest of the story. He doesn't tell you the whole story. There's been vandalism in the school before, not just a tampon machine in the boys' bathroom, but it's an all genders bathroom anyways, designated all genders. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in a 16, 17-year-old brain. Do I give a shit? Like I said, I go in and I do my business and I get out. Transgender people exist. I don't know what to tell you. They're not going away. I think a tampon machine in the bathroom is hardly a matter of concern. I'll play a Fox News clip after this so you get the full story. But this guy's the worst. I mean, what I would suggest is watch a couple of his videos, 2-3 of his videos. He's very right-leaning, obviously. He's an ultra-conservative, which I can't stand. Same as liberals, ultra liberals. I can't stand them either. And he's only going to tell you half the story. He's not going to tell you the full story. So what I was starting to say, blah, 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 is go and watch some of his videos and then go do some research on your own. And you'll see that he tells the story that he wants to tell, but he doesn't tell the whole story. He's just terrible. I watched him for a bit, and then it didn't take me long to realize how terrible the quartering is. It's just a garbage YouTube channel, and that's why he's number one. He is definitely number one. He is up on a platter. He's up on the pedestal of shitty YouTube channels, the cringe of YouTube. While the other 9 are kind of down here. You know, they're cringy too, but not as bad as the quartering. It sucks.
Principal here at Brookfield High School says this isn't the first time there's been vandalism in the bathroom. Broken stall doors, soap dispensers, things getting stuffed in the toilets. But it is the most egregious example. Just 20 minutes after this tampon dispenser was installed in the boys' room of Brookfield High School, it was ripped from the wall.
They already have like the nurse's bathroom and they have an all-gender one, so I don't really care, but it's just not that big of a deal.
Student Alistair Gall tells Fox 61 he thinks there's more important things to talk about than bathroom vandalism.
We've been doing that for like the past 3 years. I just feel like it's kind of getting blown out of proportion.
Brookfield High Principal Mark Belanda sent this message to students and staff saying he was disheartened, dismayed, and disgusted. But there are others, including state lawmakers, who are just as disgusted the dispensers were put up at all.
Rather than debate this policy, I'll just simply say that I don't approve of it. I don't believe that it's good public policy. The constituents in my district have expressed their dismay over it.
The installation of tampon dispensers is the result of a new state law pushed through on the final day of a legislative session. The law states boards of education shall provide free menstrual products in women's restrooms, all gender restrooms, and at least one men's restroom. The law was put in place to accommodate transgender and intersex students and to address what the State Department of Public Health calls period poverty and the struggle of families to purchase menstrual products. The State Department of Education sent a statement saying, quote, having open dialogue in the school community can help everyone understand the law, ensure a school environment where everyone is respected and all students are supported. But some on the other side think it's another example of injecting controversial ideology into education.
This quickly became a big issue in my district. It was all over social media and people commenting and raising concerns.
Brookfield police also showed up at the school today. They say out of concern for student safety, the school will reinstall the tampon dispenser. They believe they know who was responsible. Reporting outside Brookfield High School, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now that we spotlighted some of the cringier man-baby websites, I like to call them man-babies because they cry about stupid things and they're always crying about like the likes of Marvel and Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy and the like, and it just gets boring and it gets redundant, and I'm just sick of seeing that crap over and over again, and those are the 10 top culprits. 10 channels that I'm aware of. I mean, those are channels that I used to watch or I'm very familiar with. And so I gave you 10 of the cringe websites. I'm going to give you 10 good sites. I've covered these before on other videos, but I'm going to run through them real quick. These are good sites. They don't give you any type of clickbait. They're not man-baby-ish. They don't cry evil Marvel every 5 seconds or either evil Kathleen Kennedy every 5 seconds. So we got Emergency Awesome. He's kind of tame. He doesn't have strong opinions either way. He just tells you what's going on in the world of pop culture and fanboyism, fangirlisms. He's okay. I used to subscribe to him. I unsubscribed. I watch him once in a great while, but he just, I don't know. He started to bore me. That's a personal preference. I'd still recommend him. And it doesn't dismiss me from recommending him because I think it's a good channel. I don't know. I just got sick of the channel, I guess. Chris Stuckman, kind of same deal. I used to subscribe to him too. He's a good movie reviewer. So he's made his own film now. And since he's been involved in making his own film, he's kind of been tame as far as his movie reviews. And I think it's kind of a conflict of what he's doing in the film world to his movie reviews, because when his movie comes out, he doesn't want people to be this is what I think. He doesn't want people to be ultra critical of it. And that's why he's kind of being tame when he's reviewing films, it just seems to me recently. I'll watch him once in a great while. And there's nothing wrong with him. He's fine. I just unsubscribe to him because just simply for what I just explained. Mr. Sunday Night Movies is great. Two Australian chaps talking about movies. They're not always kind to them. They're very funny, but they don't not everything's negative, and even their negative stuff is funny. I don't always agree with everything they say, but I'm pretty much down with their opinions as far as movies are concerned and how ridiculous things can be at times. But they don't overdo it. You know, there's not doom and gloom on every freaking thumbnail like the other sites that we just covered. So that's a good site I recommend. Possum Reviews. Possum, everything's negative, but it's funny. Everything he reviews is funny. Every thumbnail. I know it's going against what I already said for the first 10. It's just funny. He makes me laugh, and he's just always outrageous and always mean. And it's his character. Is it him in his real life? Who knows? Just for some reason, it makes me laugh. So I recommend Possum Reviews. He's the what's that saying? He disproves the rule of cringe, and he's good cringe. Let's put it that way. Fanboy Flicks is very fun. He doesn't review anything recent. He reviews old movies. I don't think he makes fun of them rather than makes fun with them. He's not mean about them. He brings up some interesting movies I never knew existed, and he'll do a mainstream movie once in a while. And I don't disagree that Indiana Jones was a 4 or 5 was a bad movie. It was a bad movie, but I'm not going to make 20 videos about how Lucasfilm and Marvel is going in the dumps. Marvel's going in the dumps. Their stock is down. Their stock, we already discussed the stock. Their stock is fine. Marvel, Disney's fine. They're not going anywhere. So don't believe all these other idiots. The first 10 idiots that we spotlighted here. Good Bad or Bad does the same thing. Just reviews terrible movies and makes fun with them, I like to say, and not necessarily at them. And they've had people respond out who've contacted out they reviewed movies and thanked them for reviewing their movie. They've had stuff like that. So, I've been in bad movies too. I don't think they're genius. I don't think I'm a great actor. When I watch myself, I kind of cringe. So I feel like I feel I've punched my ticket and I can comment on these things. Everyone knows these guys, I think. Red Letter Media. They don't really do news sites. They do honest reviews, I think, and normally I agree with everything. They also review some bad movies, and they have a roundtable discussion about bad movies and old videos, which is pretty funny. So overall, this channel's pretty good. I like this channel a lot, and I have subscribed for a long time. Many moons. We got Cinemassacre, Angry Video Game Nerd. He's not so angry these days. His angry video game nerdish videos were great back in the day. I think he grew up, well, obviously we all grew up, and I don't know, I think he's got a family now and everything. He seems to have really calmed down, tamed down his character and did his videos all together, which is fine. I like his old stuff. I still watch it. It's funny as hell. And his new stuff's fine. I don't have a problem with it. I still subscribe to him, and he does honest reviews. He doesn't really have anything bad to say about anything. He's just honest about his movie reviews. He's not talking about Disney and its downfall like 9 million other fucking stupid YouTube channels. This guy's pretty funny, Space Ace. He spotlights a lot of Steven Seagal movies, which I love because I can't stand Steven Seagal. He makes fun of him during the whole review, so I love it. He does like action hero movie reviews. They're all pretty funny. I haven't watched this one yet. I'll have to pick this one up, Escape from New York with Kurt Russell. Pretty funny. He's I wouldn't say he's hard on the movies. He's hard on Steven Seagal. But I don't know. He's not really hard on the movies themselves, except Steven Seagal movies. He likes everybody else. Oh, there's Neil Breen. But yeah, I recommend this channel. It's fun. Brandon Tenold. I just got Tenold, I think. I just started watching him and subscribed to this channel. He's pretty good. He does obscure B-like movies. So bad movies. It's another bad movie. I seem to be into that. There's like 4 or 5 channels on here that just do bad B movies. I don't know. I'm not into the bashing, I guess. And that's what this video is about. I know a lot of people like to hate, so that's not necessarily me. Although I do leave some comments here and there on the YouTubes and Discus. Oh, this is just an honorable mention. Leonard Maltin, just to the fact that Siskel and Ebert, he was around at the same time. So he's a senior. I don't know how you say it. He's seasoned. He's a good movie reviewer, always has been. I grew up with him, so I just wanted to throw his channel out there because he seems like a good reviewer and a good guy, and it's a good channel, so check it out. All right, gals and guys, that's all I have to say about 10 cringy, icky, disgusting, moronic channels that are out there that I can't stand. I know they have lots of fans, millions and millions of fans. All right. If someone likes them. We enjoy different things, I suppose. I just can't stand them. And just like I said, one summer day, I was going through YouTube and every single fucking video was negative this, negative that. Negative. I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. And that's the reason, like 8 months later, I'm making this video. But I appreciate you very much. If you could subscribe, of course, I would appreciate it. And thumbs up on the thummy thumb, and share with, I don't know who the fuck you would share it with, but share it with somebody, and then hit the bell for updates, all that bullshit we have to say at the end of every YouTube video, because it's in the book, it's in the instructions. And I will catch you very, very soon, because I'm working on very many different videos. So until then, peace.